It's a Victory Friday here on the Sleepers Podcast. More importantly, though, it's a Riley Friday. Riley Davis from Heat Check back on the show. It feels like it's been 6 weeks. It's actually been like 2 weeks. But Riley, normally I would throw to you. I'm very excited to see you. You look dapper. You look handsome. You look 30. Happy birthday, by the way. But first, we have to go to Carter Elliott, who, as we currently sit at this moment, two of us are winners on this call, but I'd like to give the shine to Carter. He deserves it. He has really grown up with this Detroit Lions franchise. He's been there, a season ticket holder through the worst of times. Carter, we're the only team with a win in the National Football League. We just marched into Arrowhead and ripped Pat Mahomes' soul out of his throat. How you feeling this morning?
Hey, first of all, job's not finished. I just want to let that be known. This is just the beginning. Just so you know, Arrowhead, you got our C- game. We're coming. Just let it be known when we put things together, it's going to be scary hours approaching. And yes, I got my victory shades. And yes, I woke up this morning and exited my house and went on my porch and said, if your team is 1-0, let me hear you. And I got a scream from 6 houses down. The neighborhood is buzzing. I am buzzing. But before we get into this episode, even at the high times, we are honoring my man, Jim. Free Jim Harbaugh. Today, I have 4 pistachios that I will be eating right now while Riley does his little intro in honor of my man, Jim. Free him. He didn't do anything. The NCAA is rigged.
Riley, it's great to have you here.
Hey, it's great to be back. Like you said, man, it does feel like it's been 6 weeks, even if it's only been 2. It kind of hit me last night where like, man, my Fridays just aren't the same when we don't do a Riley Friday. And I'm glad y'all got a vacation. I'm glad I got a little vacation. But in the words of Eminem on the Eminem show, like in 3 different songs, it feels so good to be back.
I'm sick. I'm sick that I'm feeling at the top of the world and you just hit me with an Eminem.
Hey, that was back when Eminem had bars, but we don't have to get into that.
Okay.
Are we starting the show with Eminem disrespect? Is that what we're doing on a Friday when Detroit's 1-0?
Detroit's finest. Yeah, right.
No comment.
Oh, right. How are those pistachios?
They're good. All 4 of them. Free my guy, man.
All right. This should be a fun show. Carter, I don't think slept last night because he was replying to my tweets at 3:34 in the morning Eastern time. That is literally a timestamp of the last tweet I saw replied to me.
I was bookmarking so I can, spin the block when it's time.
It's a
Mike
good day.
Tirico, I'm coming for you, goofball.
I feel like you probably could go for 4 more minutes at the top here. Do you have anything else you'd like to address? I'm glad you got the
No, just stay on that side. Just I see everything. I peep everything. I don't forget. I haven't forgot anything since I was like 7. Okay. And some things before that are just blurry, but I still remember.
Okay, we might have a Lions topic, but who knows? Because it's Riley Davis's show. He picks the topics on Riley Fridays. Really good last 24 hours, though, I would say. The Discord had a bunch of people join yesterday. I want to do a quick, public service announcement, just logistics thing for the Discord. I believe we have 36 paid members in the Discord, and we have roughly 100 people that have joined the Discord but not paid. I assume those people listen to the show. I'm not putting any pressure on you to pay, but I am a little concerned people think they might have paid and are wondering why they aren't getting the stuff, because you can join the Discord without paying. You have to pay to get the stuff that we're talking about. We also had a new user hit us up on Twitter yesterday, and he was concerned he couldn't buy it on mobile, so I kind of had to talk him through that. There might be issues trying to buy it on mobile. If you're buying the Discord, buy it on a desktop. That's the cheapest price. It works. Then you just download the Discord app, get it on your phone. I've done it all on my phone ever since. So sorry, quick logistics update there, because I didn't want people to be confused if people are trying to join. But a lot of love in the Discord yesterday. Bets were going up. We had Daniel Greer hit the Rashee Rice touchdown at crazy odds yesterday. So we're making money in the Discord, and we're celebrating victories in the Discord and outside of the Discord. So we have comments to get to. Cart, you want to do your Carter Elliott comment of the day to start the show?
Yeah. Let me. I was so busy just bookmarking. I wish I could look at how many tweets I bookmarked last night. I thought I was going to get booted off by Elon. How many I did? Let me see here.
Let me get a little word in while Carter is finding his comment of the day. I will say there is nothing like staying up till 3 a.m. the night after your team gets a big win. So I salute you in your bookmarking efforts. When I think about really my last happy sports moment was when UNC beat Duke in the Final Four. And that was a stay up till 3 a.m. bookmarking tweets, responding, reading takes, everything of that nature, that kind of night. And those are the elite sports nights. So I hope you get more this year, Cart. You deserve it, man.
I respect that. And you know what? Because I'm on my little petty kick, I'm scrolling past all these positive comments. A beauty struggle said, no wonder this channel ain't successful.
Wait, was that actually? I didn't even see that comment. Where's that?
9 minutes ago. No wonder this channel is successful. You're not talking about me, my boy. My team's 1-0. I'm about as successful gets. Okay. Comment down below now on the YouTube video if your team is 1-0. If it's not, exit the channel. Go to another one. Go to a team where your team is quarterback is Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry, Riley. You got caught in the crossfire there. But come on now. This channel ain't successful. It's growing every day. We're growing. That's good. Don't hate. Be a part of it. We want you to be a part of it.
Okay, will you be honest? Was that an actual comment?
100%.
On what video?
On the Cade McNamara was a bad mentor to JJ McCarthy.
So you're going back days. Okay. I'm gonna say I didn't see a hate comment on yesterday's.
The comment was posted 10 minutes ago.
Yes, but that was 3 days ago on an episode. Okay, all right. I appreciate it. That's good energy from a 1-0 Carter Elliott. Not the most humble person on earth, but I'll take it. I like the chip on your shoulder, my friend. Let's go to the Discord, where we will respond to every single comment, every single episode in the Discord to anybody that joins. Fam, our tennis expert, says Cart with the tennis bar. He's talking to Agassi. Sampras was probably the best American, but the game evolves. One last thing with Shelton. Yes, he's way better than Isner, Tiafoe, Opelka, Eubanks, but it's all on paper. He's too young. It's too early to tell, but those points that had 8+ shots in a rally were heavily in Shelton's favor. Different level than France's. Any tennis thoughts from either of you?
I unfortunately can't comment on that because I'm a new tennis fan. So I really can't. And I've never really caught myself, looking up Agassi highlights, like just on a normal Tuesday. But yeah, I can't comment on. The thing about Ben Shelton for me is it's just fun to me. It's fun. I like attaching myself to a young bull who's got a little bit of juice, and we'll see what he does. If he flames out, he flames out. It's tennis. I'll find another young bull. I still got Litos in my back pocket. I still got Daniil in my back pocket. But I need to latch myself to an American, and him and Tommy Paul are the ones I decided to do, and I'm just going to ride with that going forward.
You like attaching yourself to a young bull?
Yeah, you know what? That could be taken out of context very badly. But yeah.
Okay. My only point on this one, fam, I respect your tennis nolly, enjoy our conversations on this, but being a different level than France's is not an indicator that you are the best American tennis player ever. That's where I'm at with this. We need to stop gassing up Ben Shelton because he's better than mediocre. Francis has been mediocre in every big moment of his career. And look, he could be, he needs to do it. He gets a great chance to do it tonight against Novak. Good luck against Novak is what I would say. That -2.5 sets is looking juicy. Travis Nelson says, great episode as always, guys. The part of your parents was great, Greg. Happy birthday to your mom. I don't have a kid yet, but I just moved for the first time last year, 9 hours away, and this struck a chord with me. Appreciate that, Travis. Connie had a great birthday yesterday, for the record. She came over for the Lions game, and she told me she cried when she heard the Twitter clip we put out. So that's a nice little boost. Riley, have you ever moved? Have you been a North Carolina resident your entire life?
No, I've lived in Knoxville, Tennessee for 4 years, and then Czech Republic for a year. So that was the farthest I ever moved away.
That was your professional football career?
That was during my professional football career, yes.
Yeah, okay. Appreciate that.
What was your favorite Czech Republic dish? So like beans and weenies, or what they eat over there?
Czech food is nothing special. Like duck. They do some good duck, but as a whole, a lot of their dishes are kind of bland. Beer is really good, though. It's like the Czech Republic is the home of the Pilsner style of beer, and it's really cheap. It's like less than $1, at least when I lived there. Maybe it's gone up now, but yeah, that's like their claim to fame is their beer.
I love a fine Czech Pilsner.
Fine Czech Pilsner is good. Very good.
We're going to have Czech people in the comments upset that Czech food is nothing to write home about. Coy says, did Terrence Shannon develop a right hand? Because he can't be an All-American without being able to go right. Your thoughts, Riley?
About Terrence Shannon's All-American case or whether or not he can go
Yeah,
right?
so we did our first team All-American picks, and we both had Terrence Shannon, I believe is our third name, like pretty steady, no delivery.
As the small forward, I guess, if you're putting positions on it.
Yeah, I saw the little thumbnail with Terrence Shannon on there, and to be honest, I didn't really think he belonged. Like, I just don't know if Illinois is going to be good enough to get Terrence Shannon All-American hype. I mean, even if he puts up, how many did he score last year? Like 17 a game? He could do that again, but if Illinois is like a 8, 9, 10 seed, that's not going to be enough to do it. Like, there's plenty of, maybe not plenty, but I feel like there's a decent amount of guys on bubble teams every year who put up big numbers, and it's like, so what? Your team's not really doing anything. That's my biggest objection toward it.
Fair. He 17, 5 and 3 last year. The big thing for me, he shot 32% from three. I think there's room to grow there. If he just like makes threes this year, his numbers could look a lot better. And two,
I mean, if he gets to like 20 a game and he's shooting 35, 36% from three, then yeah, that'll probably be enough, even if they're like a 7 seed. But I just like, I know I probably am not as in on this Illinois team as y'all are, but I have a hard time seeing them be like a top 4 seed come March. That would really help to give him that push.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, I definitely based it more on, I think his numbers could take a jump this year. I thought Greg actually made a pretty good point about how now that, the shots that Matthew Meyer was taking last year and the shots that other guys were taking last year, I feel like some of those are going to go to Shannon. And he'll be able to do that. And then also, Greg, to comment quickly on it, one of my basketball like icks or something that sometimes rubs me the wrong way is when people point or pick at some parts of the game that people aren't good at. That it's just like, okay, like Terrence Shannon can't go right. That's fine. He can average 17 going left. Like you don't get extra points for scoring with your offhand. So if him scoring 17 with it all going all left, who cares? You can't stop him. He's 6'7", 6'8" probably, and he's strong like a goddamn defensive back. So it's just like, if you have a left hand and you're playing college basketball and they can't stop you going left, just keep going left.
I mean, that was like the one critique on Trace Jackson Davis too. I know we were in a group chat where someone said he's the best one-handed player not named Hansel Emmanuel. But he still put up like 20 and 10. Like,
they said the same thing about Hunter Dickinson, and he literally was an All-American without touching the ball with his right hand.
Also, I'd be careful using the word they here, because you were the one that said these things about Hunter and Trace. Like, just straight up, it was you saying this.
Me?
Yeah. That does something. I can't remember if it was Carter who
it was 100% Carter who set the hand.
That sounds like a Carter.
And it was 100% Carter who, every time we've talked about Hunter for 4 years, has said he has no right.
Well, okay. Well, when your back's against the wall and you got to strike back, you got to find whatever weakness you can. Okay, so that's what I had to do.
Man, winning has changed you so much.
When you're 1-0, you can pick and choose which one-handed players you critique.
That's what I'm talking about, Riley. I love the energy.
This is so true. Terrence, I think people like to fixate on things people can't do instead of what people can do. And I don't think with Matthew Meyer's shots, I don't think there's anybody on Illinois that the staff wants to take those shots. Like, it's not like they're coming in being like Ty Rodgers is going to get 10 more shots a game now. They don't want that. They want Terrence to like do more than he did last year, I think. And then final thing, what do we care about more than being good in college basketball, Cart?
What?
Being old. Terrence Shannon is old now. He's 23.
Yeah.
So I like his chances here. 2 more comments. Fam has his final one of the day. He says, it's tough to see Illinois' presence outshine MSU and Michigan, given both guys have #heavy Michigan roots. Where my dog's at? Cart, do you have any comment on the state of our viewership being Illinois heavy?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why, because like you stated in the comment, I felt we got pretty good I don't know what the word is, pulse on Michigan State and Michigan, but it just doesn't really seem like either fan bases really want to consume the stuff that we're saying about them. I feel like that's their loss. I feel like they should tap in because we know some things, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, now it goes through phases though as well. Like, Illinois fans will love us one day and they'll hate us the other day. It is what it is. You can't really tailor the fan bases anymore. It's absolutely impossible. That's why I don't know how someone only talks about one, like kind of one team, because it's impossible to deal with just one fan base.
Yeah, and life would be more simple if we were just catering one fan base solely. I think Illinois fans are less upset at me about the clickbait gate, by the way, after yesterday's public addressing of the situation. We got a decent number of comments being like, respect, appreciate it, understand. I would say on why this is the case, a couple things. One, Michigan fans are never going to embrace us because of Carter. Michigan State fans are never going to embrace us because of me. And we almost need to be like a neutral third party to a team in order for people to like us fully as a duo. Illinois worked because they discovered us in a setting where we were just absolutely loving them for like 3 months. Now they don't like us because we flipped, because we're honest about them. So I don't know. Illinois fans are also abundantly online in a way that I don't even like. Michigan likes MGO blog. I don't know where Michigan State fans go to consume content. Probably just like whatever 24/7's paywalled articles are, or when Carter Elliott writes a Rivals article, then of course they're going there. But Riley, is there anything in the ACC world like this? Like you cover North Carolina, you've also covered Duke, you cover the whole conference. Like, is there a fan base that's not your fan base that is like present in consuming your content?
That's a great question. Sometimes I feel like Wake Forest fans randomly pop up. They're a loud minority because it's a 2,500 student school. Not the biggest alumni base, but they got money. They got private school roots. Shout out private school roots, and they like to make their presence known. So
respect. I had a cousin that went to Wake Forest, so I have a lot of like random Wake Forest gear. By the way, sneaky
Wake Forest gear is sick.
Yeah, the black and gold in general would make, and the name, like that's what, the Deacons.
Yeah, Deacons. Don't
forget
the
Deacons. My apologies.
Crazy. Okay, final comment of the day from the Discord. Tristan, busting brackets, says going from a loving tribute to a mother to hyping up the Lions is like going from winning the Super Bowl one year to the #1 pick next year. Carter?
Like I always say to Tristan, if you're going to have the diet of a 2-year-old when you're a grown man, lower your tone. And you're talking to me in the comments in the Discord like I'm not 1-0. So I'll give you to noon to change your tone because I'm 1-0 and you're not talking to me like I am. Respect the Lions. They really need to. I don't know if there's a segment. I'm sorry, Riley. But if you're not respecting the Lions after last night, it's not a joke. This is we knew this was coming. All right. Like everyone in the group chat and the Sean Pauls of the world talk about it's the same old Lions. It's an organizational problem. No, it's not. We're different now. We got a different little pep to our damn step. So just let that be known.
Do you see the video of CGJ, Gardner Johnson, yelling, not the same old Detroit in the locker room?
Yeah, that was with a ski mask on.
A ski mask for 5 minutes in the locker room. Saying, this ain't the same old Detroit. He's been here for 10 minutes. I love this guy. Great job, Discord comments. We appreciate you. As always, good week in the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, the link is in the description. It supports us very much, supports the show, and you can join a really fun community where we make fun of Riley Davis behind his back because he's not in the Discord. So without further ado, Riley, 3 topics today. As always, I hand the show over to you, my friend.
All right, let's get into it. Just to forecast a little bit for that one guy in the comments who complained about only wanting college hoops content. We got 2 college hoops topics today, and then we'll close with a not so secret topic that I might have given y'all a heads up probably 20 minutes before we started recording. But, staying in the college basketball landscape, I actually got this idea from a commenter on YouTube a few weeks ago. After y'all did your Big Ten title contending teams where you can only select one player from a team and then a coach who doesn't have a team represented, I wanted to do that same exercise with the ACC. Someone suggested I do it, and I thought, hey, it's my return after a little 2-week hiatus. Why not get right into the conference I know best? So I'll turn it over to y'all first because I got my team made, but I want to hear which directions y'all go.
Greg, should we have our team be one?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this because I feel like last time it was kind of fun to do it all together. So if you already have your teammate, I feel like Cart and I should try to build ours and see how different it is from yours, if that works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess let's start with the non-negotiables here. And we have to, Well, the weird thing is like with Duke and Carolina, they have so many good options between the two of them that I don't think there is a non-negotiable on either of them. So we probably want to start with like other teams that have a player we just feel we need on this and then fill in gaps with Duke and Carolina. How do you feel about that, Cart?
Yeah, I think, and this, like you said, I feel there's a certain way you could go. Like you could go Mondo, and then I don't know, maybe get a guard from Duke, or go flip and take like RJ Davis. There's definitely some ways you could go with this. But
is there a player on either of those teams that you think is worth like not going that route and saying we need this guy?
Wait, say that again.
Is there a player on either of those teams that you think is worth not going the route we're talking about and just being like, we need to scoop this guy out? Because I think a lot of people nationally would say we need to get Tyrese Proctor, and you and I aren't on that train.
If we're getting anybody, I feel like we want to get Flip
or Baycott. I mean, so productive, right? I feel like I would bet Riley's team has Baycott and not RJ Davis.
I would too.
Do you think we? I don't want to know yet. I don't want to know to the end.
I won't spoil it.
Do you think we? What do you think we do, Cart? What should we do?
You decide.
Okay, I'm going through other teams. So like potential options, like Reese Beekman. Yeah. Miami, like, are we taking Nigel Pack from Miami? Are we taking Norchad?
Ooh, I feel like Nigel Pack we got to take.
See, this is another one. Like either one contributes to a team. It's like, do you want Tyrese Proctor and Norchad, or do you want Nigel Pack and Filipowski? Those are pretty easy.
Nigel Pack and Filipowski.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like that. Then what do you do with Carolina?
Nigel Pack. Well, we could just get Hubert as our coach.
Oh yeah, I've completely forgot about the coach side of this.
Yeah, I mean, for coach, I feel like, do we take Bennett?
Yeah, I think so. But does that mean we have to watch his offense though?
No. Well, we're the GM, so we'll have a word with him. But he'll be suited up and like handsome. That's huge, and
right.
He can run. He can do X and O's.
What about like who are other guys in this league that are just fun or good that we feel we need? I feel like we're missing names. Like we should probably just go down the list and name some names.
I'm going to the team. Like there's no one on Pitt.
Judah Mintz.
JJ.
It's you got to take Mintz over Starling. You have to.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just where's Mintz? So what our backcourt is Nigel Pack and Mintz.
I mean,
that's a good backcourt.
I kind of like Nigel Pack, Mintz, Baycott, Filipowski, and then we need a wing and Tony Bennett as coach right now, unless we put Beekman in as third guard and get a different coach.
Okay, I'm going through this wing. Riley, as our ACC correspondent, who is that wing from Georgia Tech? Bouncy guy.
Miles Kelly. I love Miles Kelly. I heavily like consider taking Miles Kelly.
I like him really a lot, and I think he fit really good.
By default, I am not willing to pick a player I've never heard of.
Okay, that's understandable, but you should tap into him, G. He's really, really good and fun.
Okay, he's a 6'6" wing, good shooter, can do a little bit in the mid range too. Like he was really their only productive player last year.
Yeah,
who's back?
I think he's on NBA radars too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vicini tweeted a lot about him.
Who's back for Clemson? Don't they have a good wing?
Clemson has Chase Hunter, who's like a 6'4" combo guard. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Joe Girard will be sort of wingy. He's kind of small though.
He's too small. PJ Hall in the front court.
I love PJ Hall. PJ Hall's awesome.
PJ Hall's good too.
Should we take a Duke wing instead of Flip and get a different big?
Take like what Duke wing are we taking?
I don't know. I'm stuck on this fifth guy. I need you to drive home the fifth guy. I like Flip, Baycott, Nigel, and Mintz. I like that as a core.
Okay, I'll take us home here. It should be Miles Kelly. I'll be honest with you.
I guess we can do Miles Kelly. I'll just caveat. I've never heard of the dude. I'd rather go Reese Beekman and then pick a different coach.
And then have Reese Beekman at the 3.
I think, but is there another decent coach in the ACC?
Yeah, if you don't take Bennett as your coach, I feel like there is one correct answer, and he comes from your conference. It's got to be Shrews.
Oh, I totally forgot about him.
I totally forgot about it. Wow, that's on me. Yeah. Oh, Shrews is our coach.
Also, I would much rather have Shrews than Bennett anyway.
Same. Yeah, Shrews is our coach.
Okay, so official submission of the team.
Yes.
Nigel Pack, Judah Mintz, Reese Beekman, Kyle Filipowski, Armando Bacot with Micah Shrewsbury coaching. That team's nasty.
That is a nasty team. Excellent work, fellas. Excellent work. I will say, when I was doing this exercise, much like y'all, it hit me there. This is a bad league again, and it made me sad. I had the exact same dilemma where I'm like, where are the wings? I need someone who's like 6'6", can guard somebody and hit a three, and there are like no options to be found. Like, even on Duke and UNC, there's no NBA prototype wing. Like, don't get me wrong, I know Duke has plenty of NBA hopefuls with guys like Jared McCain, TJ Power. But I don't know if Power's going to be ready right away. And I think McCain's like 6'4". So that was my same dilemma. But I can get into my team if y'all want me to.
Please.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I agree that Mintz is a non-negotiable. I think Judah Mintz is really good. The fact that he was getting like 16, 17 a game with a washed up Boeheim as his coach, with like ton of inexperienced wings around him and like clogged paint and everything. And he can't even really shoot, and was scoring 16 a game. So yeah, I think Mintz could have a huge year. And I actually paired him with RJ Davis. I went with RJ over Bacot.
Wow.
I thought for sure you took Mondo.
I
I'm
like
shocked.
heavily considered it, but I think there's so many. It's kind of true of like the entire college hoops landscape these last couple of years. There's a lot of good big men nationally, and there's just more big men options in the ACC too.
I want to say this: I will be completely shocked unless you did the RJ Davis and Norchad flip for, I guess, Bacot and Pat. That's the only thing that would make sense to me here. Continue.
So I didn't go Norchad either. Yeah, so I got RJ, I got Judah Mintz, and I took PJ Hall as my big man. And that might be one of my bolder takes, but I think PJ Hall is like the best player that no one talks about, because
He is really good.
Because Clemson didn't make the tournament last year. I don't think they've made it since he's been there, but he's a good defender. He can stretch the floor a little bit. Like, I mean, he's pretty much a 15-point per game scorer for his career. So I think Clemson should be really good this year, and maybe PJ will finally get the love that he deserves. So yeah, I took RJ, I took Judah as my backcourt, PJ Hall in the front court. Then for a Duke player, I avoided Flip. This was partially out of like my own pettiness. I just didn't want to take Proctor. I didn't want to take Flip for like the two best Duke players, because I don't know. I'm not going to contribute to the Duke #1 propaganda this year. That's just not what I'm going to do.
So much respect, Riley. So much respect for that.
And so I decided I took Jared McCain as my third guard, because I think he's an absolute bucket, and I think Duke's going to play him at the 3. I bet that's what they're going to do this year, and needed some shooting on the wing and a guy who can also make plays for others. So that left me with my 4th spot, where I got like my 1, 2, and 3. I got my 5. And this was when I ended up being like, okay, there's no one in this league who's 6'8", 6'9", and mobile and can hit threes or like make plays off the bounce. So I went with another wing, 6'6" guy who can shoot, and Damari Monsanto from Wake Forest. Y'all ever watch Monsanto? Because that dude is
I did not know he was still at Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
He's extremely fun. Extremely fun.
Yeah. That was kind of what I went with that. I'm like, I need a dude who's going to show up to get buckets. He might not be able to guard anybody, but he's one of the best shooters in the country, both off the bounce and like just a spot up threat. So I had Monsanto as my 4. And for a coach, I initially went with Tony Bennett, because I thought maybe he could cover up some of Monsanto's injury issues. And I thought having like a perimeter rotation of RJ Davis, Judah Mintz, and Jared McCain would be a little bit like the perimeter trio that Virginia had when they won the national championship, and he let those dudes cook out of ball screens. But now that we've hashed it out a little bit, I'm wondering if I need to go with Shrews, because I'm obviously not taking a Notre Dame player, or if I should just go with Coach L coming off of his first Final Four. I feel like Larinaga would make this team fun.
I respect it, but I also don't want to be cocky here, Riley. I think our team is washing your team.
So we got to dissect this with Riley's team a little bit. Respect the move of avoiding Duke. Totally respect it. With that said, your team is missing the 2 best players in this conference. That's crazy to me. Like, one, I could get behind one maybe, but like no Bacot, no Flip is wild, right? Like,
yeah,
your front court's PJ Hall, and you could have had Flip or Bacot or both.
I didn't think this through that thoroughly. I was like, what fun ACC players who don't get enough love can I highlight? And how can I be a contrarian to the Duke hype and go with Jared McCain over Kyle Filipowski and justify it because Filipowski had double hip surgery. That's my reasoning behind that.
So no Miami representation at all is the other thing I would nitpick here, because if you're not going Jim, which I would probably go Jim out of that group, even though I love Shrew. But regardless, like, I feel like one of Pack or Norchad or even Matthew Cleveland, like, we talk about these wings are missing. I kind of thought about Harrison Ingram and Matthew Cleveland as options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Cleveland, I considered him too as like but I was thinking if you either have Baycott or PJ Hall as your 5, like Hall's a decent shooter, but he's probably going to make like 23s this upcoming season. He's not like, I wouldn't necessarily say he's a true stretch 5 or a stretch 4 or anything. So I wanted to put some better shooting in that front court. And I think Cleveland is such a wild card when it comes to shooting, because I think he shot like 36% this past year on a low volume, but his form is pretty wonky. And he's a guy who I think needs the ball in his hands a lot. Like he had a pretty high usage rate at Florida State. And I mean, I think I trust Larinaga to get the most out of him this year, but it might be an adjustment when you have a guy like Nigel Pack who needs the ball. I also considered Wooga Poplar. I thought that might be a little too rich to go with like a breakout candidate, but Wooga Poplar was a dude last year.
Great name too.
He was a Poplar pick.
Oh, Greg.
Sorry.
Come on.
Yesterday, I don't know if you have heard this yet or not, Riley, but we were doing teams that are under the radar that we think could make a Final Four, and I camped for Miami a little bit.
Yeah, I watched that little YouTube video last night. So I'm with you, man. I think Miami brings a lot back, but like I really think Wooga Poplar could be maybe not a first team all ACC guy, but a second team guy. I think because Norchad Omier and Nigel Pack get most of the headlines, but it wouldn't surprise me if Wooga's their second leading scorer after Nigel Pack.
Yeah. Not a lot would surprise me with that team. I like their top 4 a lot. The 3 guys I mentioned plus Poplar. Mm-hmm. And I trust Jim. I trust Life Wallet as well. Okay. So the big question here is not whose team wins between our team and Riley, because no offense, but our team the spread's probably 15.5. I still can't believe you took JV Ethan Happ over Kyle Filipowski and Armando Baycott in the front court. That's crazy. Now, the big question is who wins between our Big Ten team weeks ago and whatever ACC team between the two of us you want to pick. So our Big Ten team was Edey, Kamwa, Shannon, Tyson Walker, Boo Buie, with Chris Holtman coaching. Major mismatch on that side. No offense, Chris Holtman, fan of the show. And then do we want to take our team, Cart? Do we want to take our team versus our team and have Riley decide who wins?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, say that again. It was Tyson Walker, Boo Buie, Kamwa, Edey, and who was the
Terrence Shannon. Terrence Shannon. Yeah. And then so our ACC team, again, Judah Mintz. Who am I missing? Judah Mintz, Nigel Pack,
Beekman,
Filipowski, Baycott with Shrew coaching. Who wins?
I kind of think the Big Ten spread is like -8.5.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that take. That's probably accurate.
I think Beekman compared to Terrence Shannon, I know I said he's not going to make an All-American team, but that's like not really a contest. Beekman has always sort of been a theoretical NBA guy more so than like an actual prospect. I like Buie better than Judah Mintz, even though I love Mintz's game. I think Bowie's older and he can do a lot more with the ball in his hands. And like even like Nigel Pack at his best is a really fun player, but Tyson Walker is more consistent. He's done it. Oh wait, I was about to say he's done it on a bigger stage, but Nigel Pack just made a Final Four. But I just get like that last Tyson Walker tournament game is still burned into my brain against Kansas State when he just went nuts. Like, and I don't know if Pack really had that. I could be wrong. I might be forgetting a game, but I don't know if Pack really had a moment like that in the tournament.
Pack had one game. I remember he went nuclear. I don't remember who it was, but he had like 6 threes. But outside of that, he was very inconsistent in the tournament, if I remember correctly. But I think you're right here, which feels a little weird to me because I don't view the Big Ten as like a great conference this year. Maybe that says more about the ACC than it does about the country.
I think it does. I mean, maybe -8.5 is too big of a spread because between Filipowski and Baycott, you got at least two guys who can get in the way of Zach Edey. And Filipowski, when he is healthy, is a really, really underrated defender. All the advanced metrics pointed to him being the best defender on Duke last year, even more so than Lively. Like, he had a higher defensive win share, higher defensive box plus minus. I don't always know how to interpret that, but I'm citing it to back up my argument here. And both
Not a math podcast, for the record.
And both Filipowski and Baycott will give you more scoring than Kamwa and can maybe, I don't know, get close to some of the scoring production Edey will give you. But yeah, I think the front court battle is a lot more interesting than the perimeter battle.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Fun topic. Appreciate that. Look forward to the year-long battle of who is more mid between the Big Ten and the ACC. That was a fun battle last year, and it got very loud and stinky at times. But here we are.
It's going to be special.
It's honestly, it's going to happen. The Big Ten's going to look dominant and great in the regular season, and then we're going to get to March, and the ACC is going to have two Final Four teams out of nowhere that are horrible. Like, it's going to be like Syracuse and Clemson in the Elite Eight. And meanwhile, Purdue lost again to Robert Morris. I don't know. I'm getting grumpy about it. By the way, USA is down 7 to Germany with 13 minutes left in the FIBA semifinals. Shout out to the Wagner brothers. Riley, what's topic 2?
It actually transitions quite nicely from our ACC discussion because I bemoaned the lack of wings in that league. Y'all did as well. But I was thinking that a lot of times at this point in the offseason, people are putting out lists. Shout out to our list king, Tristan Freeman. People are putting out lists of best backcourt, best front court, but we never really hear like the best wing duo. And I think part of that is because if you are a 6'7", 6'8" wing who can dribble, pass, and shoot, you're probably in the NBA. But I still thought it would make an interesting exercise to look at this landscape and say, who is the best wing duo in the country, or the top duos? And the only stipulations I put on this was like, it can be a 2-3 pairing or a 3-4 pairing, but I think the 2 guard needs to be taller than like 6'3", because you don't want to drift into the combo guard range. And for the 4, I need the 4 to be able to do a little bit off the bounce. It can't just be like a typical stretch 4. Like, if Brady Manick was still playing, he would not qualify as a wing.
Okay. I like the definition of wing there, by the way, because I was definitely going to try and do like a 6'2" shooting guard. In fact, I still might when we get there. Cart, you want to go first on this?
No, I do not want to go first. Why did you try to make me go first today?
Because I feel like I monopolized the conversation a lot. I'm trying to do the logistics and passing around. I don't like being the first person to give my intel always.
I like feeding off of you.
Okay. Again, your victory cart is in a weird spot. So the first one that came to my mind is Creighton. And I don't know if you're going to let me have Trey Alexander as a wing.
He's 6'4", so he counts. He was on my list.
He counts? Okay. If he counts, I think I feel very confident with Creighton. I'm taking Trey Alexander. I'm taking Baylor Shireman. I don't know how much we've talked about this with Creighton. I've definitely thought about it personally a lot. I'm really bummed with how their offseason played out, because I wanted to see last year's team run it back so badly. And it would be fine in my head if some of these guys were just like done with college basketball and playing elsewhere. But it's going to be really hard for me to watch Arthur Kaluma at Kansas State and Ryan Nembhard at Gonzaga and not think like, damn, this team was a phantom foul call away from a Final Four game against Florida Atlantic where they would have been favored by 11. Like, they were that close to the mountaintop. And if it was Creighton against UConn, that national championship looks totally different. And obviously we can't rewrite history, but that entire core had the opportunity to just run it back. They're all playing college basketball again. And 2 of the most important pieces said, no, I want to go play for Jerome Tang and Mark Few. I don't know what that says about Creighton as a program. It might say something about Greg McDermott. I know a lot of people like Greg McDermott. I would point out there's some commonalities between the guys that left and some of the guys they added that map with Greg McDermott's history here. You can do the math on that. Not a math podcast. But Alexander and Shireman are the 2 things I am stone cold confident about with Creighton. I think they're still going to be a top 10, top 15 team because these 2 exist. A lot of people are really gassing up Ashworth. I would honestly look to Riley for input on Ashworth. I don't know how to feel about him. He kind of scares me. But and Calc too, he deserves mention. But I think if Creighton's good this year, it's because shifting the usage from Kaluma, who I still have no idea if he's a good offensive player or not, and Ryan Nembhard, who it's always objectively good to have a Nembhard, but wasn't the greatest in half court stuff for them at times. I'm curious what like option number 1 Trey Alexander looks like, and I think it could be really good.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at with this team. I believe Trey Alexander deserves a little bit of preseason All-American buzz. He is on one of my All-American teams for the Almanac. Hashtag by the Almanac. I think in a vacuum that Ryan Nembhard is a better player than Steven Ashworth, but I believe Ashworth's skill set is conducive to both Baylor Shireman and Trey Alexander going nuts and being able to play on ball more and make plays for the rest of the team, because Ashworth is such an elite shooter. He's just as good off the bounce as he is off the catch. But if you think about if you're allowing Alexander and Shireman create for themselves, create for others, Stephen Ashworth is going to be able to finish those corner threes a lot better than Nembhard could. So with like, that's why I think both those guys have a chance to build pretty significantly on the numbers they put last year. And it would probably be my number 1 wing duo, but there's one more that I think could push them, and then a couple other like honorable mentions. So,
ooh, what a team!
I'll see where Cart goes.
Is it a Big East team? Another Big East team?
Yes, it is another Big East team.
So can I get Stephon Castle as a wing?
Yep, you can get Stephon Castle as a wing.
Is Cam Spencer a wing too?
I counted Cam Spencer as a wing too. That was the one who I think can push Alexander and Shireman.
I might take that. I might take that wing duo, and that sounds bad to say that I'm taking Cam Spencer in the wing duo, but I think Stephon Castle is a lottery pick, and Cam Spencer is going to be a 40% plus 3-point shooter, and I honestly think he's going to. I truly think he's actually going to be a better shooter at UConn, because he's got like some other people around that can set up things for him. Like Tristan Newton's played a lot of basketball, and he was playing really, really good basketball towards the end of last year as a point guard. I think he'll get a lot of good looks. He'll get a lot of good looks with Klingon as well. Being the post presence. So versus like sticking to the Big East, I honestly think I would take UConn's wings.
I think it sounds, when you say it out loud, like I'm taking Cam Spencer and Stephon Castle over Trey Alexander and Baylor Shireman. It sounds a little bit odd because Castle hasn't played a Division I game yet, and like Shireman has had his moments at South Dakota State and transitioned pretty seamlessly last year. Trey Alexander is just this, like, even though he'll be in his 3rd year, is still kind of a wealth of potential waiting to be untapped, and he's already had some big moments. But I love that pick because, yeah, I'm with you on Castle. He is not getting nearly enough buzz, especially in a weak draft class when he's 6'6", super bouncy, and can kind of do it all on the court. And right. Yeah, Cam Spencer has been a guy I've been in on since he's been in the portal. Like I think I'm sort of enamored with this dude who can, again, play on or off ball, but also has some like defensive juice to him. Like looking at his steal numbers from last year, I think he can be someone who Hurley can get the best out of even more on that end.
Okay, can I go like full hater mode on that pick?
Yes.
Okay, I still want you guys to love me after this. That's a horrible pick, though. That's a really horrible pick. I can't believe like we're talking about how much age matters and like experience and all that shit. And the proposal for best wings in the country is the number 15 ranked freshman and Rutgers' second best player last year. That's ridiculous. Like, come on. I'm sorry. Cam Spencer might be really good for UConn. If UConn's good next year, it is not because of how good Cam Spencer and Stephon Castle are. It's about, does Klingon take the jump? Does Newton have more as like a second option instead of a fifth option? I like those guys. They're good. They're role players on this team. They're not driving how good UConn is the way that Creighton's are. And the way, like, I'm scrolling through top 25. I think there's like 5 or 6 other combos I would take before UConn. So horrible pick. I hate that pick. Riley, can we hear some of your runner-ups?
All right. I wonder if this was some of the guys you noticed looking through top 25s, but Dalton Connect and Josiah Jordan-James at Tennessee, pretty interesting duo. You have a little offense, defense compliment.
Stop right there. What? Riley Ramon. Did Tennessee? Dalton Connect from Northern Colorado?
Oh, man, Dalton Connect is a bucket, man. And he's bouncy.
Okay, you could have saved that one you could have led with something else as a backup.
That's fair. Rylan Griffin and Grant Nelson, that do anything for you?
Hart likes
that. I'm in.
All right.
No, but go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I mean, Rylan Griffin to me is like a top 10 breakout candidate this year. And I don't know if I just like him because his name is Rylan and it's kind of close to Riley, but or if it's just because his highlight tapes are so crazy with like some of the dunks he had last year. But I also just trust Nate Oates' system to get the most out of those athletic wings. Grant Nelson, I'm a little bit nervous about how he transitions based to the boots on the ground reporting that we personally heard about how he looked at the NBA combine and everything. But I will say, this goes back to a topic we probably discussed a month ago, that Alabama is doing its part to make Grant Nelson look awesome in its highlight clips.
Very true. Very true.
And that's sometimes that's half the battle.
We applaud them. Okay, so let me ask you guys some questions real quick, some quick hitters here. Who's a better basketball player, Antonio Reeves or Cam Spencer?
Antonio Reeves, probably.
Who's a better prospect, Justin Edwards or Stephon Castle?
Stephon Castle.
Come on.
Stephon Castle.
Can I get Riley's answer to that question?
Probably Justin Edwards.
Kentucky's the obvious pick. If we're going like freshman upside guy and stud, like I said it, Antonio Reeves could lead the country in scoring this year. I really believe that.
Did Florida Atlantic get a thought for you, Riley, at all?
They did. I was looking at Elijah Martin and John L. Davis, but Elijah Martin's 6'3", so he was disqualified.
Ooh, wow.
His height.
Damn. 6'3" on what website?
I think it was Bart Torvik.
Okay.
I need to look at the official
Florida Atlantic official site. He's 6'6".
That's a shocking height, by the way. That might be in my Mount Rushmore of shocking heights. I thought Elijah Martin was like 6'8" based on the run last year. I really did. Okay. Okay. So definitive final answer then. Are you guys sticking with the one you said? I'm going to stick with Creighton. Although the more I talk through Kentucky, I think it's 1A, 1B for me.
I honestly completely forgot about Antonio Reeves when I was doing this. I was like, Justin Edwards, he counts, but Trey Mitchell doesn't count, stretch 4, so I disqualified them. And now I'm like, I was a huge we've talked about this on this very show, like how much I love Antonio Reeves, and that I feel like the three of us collectively were doing our part for Big Blue Nation to give this guy his flowers when we had the Kevin Sweeneys of the world saying, well, actually, he's not that good. He's just a
Give me Cam Spencer and Castle.
It's a ridiculous answer, man. I'm sorry. Like you used to be such a big Mulcahy guy. To see you standing for Spencer as the best wing in the country now is insane.
Hey.
Okay.
Did TJ Bamba and Trey Burton tempt you at all, G Wizzy?
This is where we move to the next topic.
Who was the coach for that team?
Okay, I just wanted to say I don't know if either of those guys are any good or if they just put up numbers for bad teams. So that was why I wasn't gonna say them, but I at least had them on my list to discuss if they came up.
I think either next week or next Riley Friday we should do like teams we think have disaster potential, because I will bookmark myself. Villanova is red alert for me. I don't think any of these guys they got are actually good. And yeah, they're getting a lot of love. Like they added, like, whoa, what a transfer class. I don't think any of the guys they got have been in like a winning situation or contributed as an individual reason their team was winning in their entire 4-year careers.
I mean, Akeem Hart played on tournament teams.
He played on them. Did he do anything else besides play? Like that's a footnote. Okay, what are we? Is Akeem Hart? They're gonna win the Big East because they got Akeem Hart.
I guess any sort of Villanova wing discussion should include Justin Moore, though, over any of the guys they brought in via the portal.
That's true.
Yeah.
Both Achilles, Justin Moore.
Yeah. Right.
Cart, a little addition by subtraction. Cam Whitmore cart?
No.
No? Okay. I was just checking. I know you're a big addition by subtraction guy. You said that with Akeem Hart.
It'd be addition by subtraction. They got rid of the guy with the turtleneck.
Okay. Got it. Fun topic. Thanks, Riley. Credit to Riley for bringing 2 great college basketball topics today.
Yes, I needed those.
What's your third topic today?
All right. As I teased earlier, I want to talk some about your Detroit Lions. And this is also going to be kind of a grab bag of all my Monday Night Football takes. Meaning the main one is, I don't know if Chris Collinsworth loves saying the National Football League or Patrick Mahomes more. Like the funniest thing was after Mahomes threw that pick 6 that admittedly, like yes, Kadarius Toney had an egregious drop on that, but Collinsworth made sure to say like, just a perfect pass from Mahomes and Toney. Oh, what a like he was. I'm like, this dude was about ready to just say like Kadarius Toney can be shot to the sun for all I care about for messing up this like perfect Mahomes throw on like a 7-yard pass. Like, come on, Chris, keep it together, man.
The booth was killing me, really. Even at the end of the game, Mike Tirico said, yeah, great win for the Lions. Definitely got to put an asterisk near this one with all the injuries for the Chiefs. Literally said, got to put an asterisk near our win.
I'm not upset at that comment at all, by the way. I think you do have to put an asterisk by it.
No, come on. There's no asterisks in the NFL, man. Every team deals with injuries.
It's a passing comment. We're not like actually updating the score sheet in ESPN.com where it's now like if Travis Kelce's on this field, we lose by 10.
No.
Yes, 100%.
No.
Like straight up, the only reason we're even in position to have a chance in this game is because Kadarius Toney was an informal agent, whatever, informant. Like he was horrible.
Yeah, you know why? You know why? Because he had a safety who came on the blue ski mask and he heard cleat steps.
I don't think Travis Kelce's hearing cleat steps. We'll see. I don't know. Look, I'm happy, man. I'm gassing this up. I'm here. I'm not here to squash Victory Monday or Victory Friday. Sorry, but it just like I wasn't mad about the comment. I don't get why anybody's mad about the Trico comment.
Makes me upset.
Okay. All right. What else, Riley? What's on your grab bag list?
Yeah, my second point on my list was Jahmyr Gibbs versus David Montgomery. Another topic in some of our group chats. I just wanted to get where y'all are at. Like, what's a vibe check on Gibbs versus Montgomery? Because I thought those couple snaps that Gibbs got, he looked awesome. Like, he was one of my favorite players to watch in all of college football last year. I was so excited when the Lions drafted him because I thought this dude's going to be a fantasy stud and just like a walking highlight reel. But David Montgomery, I know he got destroyed on that pass protection play when Nick Bolton ran him over, but he still had some good moments yesterday. Like that touchdown run was pretty nice, little vicious, angry run. But yeah, where are y'all at on this?
Greg, you want me to go first?
You get to pick who goes first.
Okay, there's a thing here. With the Lions, one of the biggest pet peeves for me is that I don't think we necessarily do a good job of getting the ball in like our playmakers' hands on offense. Like for all that happened with DeAndre Swift last year and his injuries and things like that, I just always found myself like, can we get the ball in this guy's hands more? And I just don't know if we did that. And I get like the whole narrative, like, yes, rookies, you don't want to overwork them. Okay, but like we picked this guy number 12. Let's get the ball in his hands. He's dynamic when he had the ball in his hands, whether it's receiving or rushing the ball. I mean, he did have that one where he tripped himself with that Arrowhead garbage peasant turf. But, besides that, he was, I thought, really good when he had the ball in his hands. So I understand, Montgomery probably is a running back that just embodies, grit or Detroit Lions or Dan Campbell, because obviously we saw what Jamal Williams did last year. But Jahmyr Gibbs needs more touches expeditiously.
Yeah, in general, I agree. I have a lot of thoughts on it. First of all, I think Montgomery's good. So I'm not like upset. Oh, like why are they giving the ball to this bum instead of Gibbs? Like I think Montgomery's good. I think in general with running backs in the NFL, outside of the top 6 guys, I think 7 through 30 are all pretty interchangeable. Like they're just NFL backs that are what they are. They're not going to mess up plays and they're going to run through and break a tackle and get 4 yards. David Montgomery's that. He's a good goal line back. I don't think he was bad yesterday. Jahmyr Gibbs is exciting because he could be one of those 6 that is like total game changer guy. But my issue back with the pick, honestly, I still have a little bit of an issue with the pick. And if you did pick him 12th, how are you only playing him 19 snaps? My issue is like, even if Gibbs is electric, he's probably gone in like 4 years. Like DeAndre Swift had great moments in Detroit and now he's an afterthought even on Philly. Like I know they signed him, but like it's like the shelf life is so small. How are we not going to use the shelf life? Like, yeah. I don't care. We don't need to bring Jahmyr Gibbs along slow. He's not going to be here in 7 years. Running backs aren't there for more than 5 years. So we better milk him for all he's got. Pause, but please. But I don't know. Like it's hard for me because I thought Gibbs was great. He also tripped himself. on what should have been a walk-in touchdown. So, like, are we really going to come out here and be like, oh, Gibbs needed to be the face of everything? When he tripped himself, he had one walk-in touchdown. He fell. Like, I was okay with Montgomery getting the ball a lot more after that, but I don't know. Ben Johnson did weird stuff in general to me this game, though, Cart.
Yeah, Ben Johnson was looking a little Iowa offensive coordinator-ish on third downs. It was weird.
I don't need screens to our seventh options on third down ever. Like, throw a screen to the best two players if we're throwing a screen.
Yeah. I did want to add that I think the best thing that David Montgomery could do or could have done for his career was to switch to number 5, because there was multiple times yesterday in that game where I'm like, oh, wait, who's this exciting young dude wearing number 5? Oh, wait, that's still David Montgomery. But, like, you just look so much faster when you're wearing 5 instead of 33. I don't get why, like, every NFL running back isn't trying to wear a number from 0, because you can wear 0 now, to, like, 10.
Respect. I agree.
Fun fact. David Montgomery is the same age as DeAndre Williams from Memphis. Just wanted to throw that out. That's a
He's like
old is
26?
He's 26.
Wow.
Why did I think Montgomery was? See, that's the thing. That's the running back shelf life.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
was
like 32.
Running backs get 3 years into their career, and it's he's past his prime. He's old. He's washed.
Yep.
Like that's gonna be Gibbs literally in 4 seasons, no matter how good he is. So can we get him more than 19 snaps, please?
Right. All right. The last thing from my Monday Night Football grab bag. I need an NFL team to cheer for this year. Carter teased this on yesterday's episode when he was saying, like, oh, I can't wait to be 1-0 on Riley Friday when Riley's quarterback is Baker Mayfield. Yes, my quarterback is Baker Mayfield right now. I'm not happy about it. This is legitimately the first time in my life that I want the Bucs to lose every game. I want Caleb Williams, or I want Drake May, and I want a new coach. I need someone other than Todd Bowles. And let's go ahead and kill 2 birds with 1 stone and just lose every game. So I'm tempted to, like, join the Lions bandwagon this year. I feel like, as someone who was a long-suffering Bucs fan, aside from, like, the 3 Tom Brady years and, like, the 2 years when Redacted was our coach when we got our first Super Bowl, it's been a pretty miserable existence. There's 18 years in between the Bucs' first Super Bowl and the second Super Bowl, and I think they had losing seasons probably, like, they didn't make the playoffs. Or they might have made the playoffs once in that stretch. So I feel like I can relate to the Lions fan base of just watching a poor product year in, year out. And on top of it, I love the Honolulu blue, like, elite color. In Amon-Ra's rookie year, he won me my fantasy league, so I'm loyal to him for that. So I am asking permission. Can I join the Lions bandwagon? Would you give me any cautions about the dangers of joining said bandwagon? What are your thoughts?
So this is an official proposal that you've just submitted to the council of, can you join the bandwagon?
Yeah, just for this year. Because once my Bucs get Caleb Williams or Drake May, I'm cheering for them to win every game again.
So you're looking for a 1-year contract.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a verdict, I think, unless Cart's going to talk me into the other direction here. But I have a verdict.
Unfortunately, we can't have you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We cannot.
Yeah. Do you want to elaborate on why? I have a reason why, but.
Oh, well, there's a couple things. First of all, well thought out proposal. Some things that rubbed me the wrong way. You came to a Lions fan speaking about how there was a gap between your Super Bowl wins.
Mm-hmm.
My brother in Christ. There's been a gap between everything in us. Like, there's a Super Bowl win. We're trying to make the playoffs. We're like, you don't know pain. The fact that you tried to stake your claim to pain when you have a Super Bowl and you had a run with Tom Brady.
2 Super Bowls. 2 Super Bowls.
Oh, 2 Super Bowls.
This man said there's a gap between my Super Bowls and wants to join.
But it was
bandwagon?
18 years.
And you want to join for a year and then go back to the Buck? No.
My brother in
do.
Christ, there's no gap here. There's a pit. Okay. There is a pit.
There's
in
a
our
valley.
hearts.
Okay, but, like, those years when Calvin Johnson was putting up 2,000 receiving yards, those were pretty fun. Like, that was more fun than I had as a Bucs fan during that same stretch. Like, I was watching Mike Glennon and his neck as our quarterback for a good 2 years in there. Like, Josh McCown signed a huge contract to play for the Bucs for a season. Like, that was our big offseason acquisition in, like, 14 was Josh McCown.
Okay. Well, I don't want to leave you out to dry, but unfortunately, we cannot have you on the Lions. Maybe some suggestions. Can you be a Saints fan? Great jerseys, great colors. Olave's fun. Kamara, like.
But that's a division rival. I can't stand the Saints.
Yeah, I don't know if that was on purpose or a troll, but that was pretty funny that you went straight to the rival.
And that was not on purpose at all. But no, unfortunately, we cannot have you, Riley. But I appreciate your sentiment and thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the interest, but the ruling is the ruling. It is what it is. Riley, any comments on our pending fantasy football matchup this week? I know you have a lot of feelings towards my organization, which is the defending champions, the only champions in our fantasy league.
Look, I took issue with Greg being on this podcast and saying no one can really challenge me in this league other than Jeff Borzello, when me and Evan, our team, okay, we were third place last year, but we had a great shot to we were seen as Greg's as the biggest threat to Greg for really the second half of the season.
By who?
By people.
Or by computer models. That's the problem with your organization. Love Evan Miyakawa, love you, obviously. The problem with your organization is that you thought you were smarter than me, and you're not. That's the model is not. The model is great. Model is a model. I am not a model. You can't win fantasy football leagues off a model. You can build a third place team off a model, but you have to have some cutthroat guile to you. Okay, that's what I mean.
Look, I commend you for your cutthroat guile, but you know the meme, like, was it Carter who said that he had a comp for Patrick Mahomes without a generational tight end, and it's always some bum. You know, when people like to do that meme, I'm like, what would the meme be for Greg Waddell without generational trade swindling skills? But then again, that's like kind of part of fantasy, is to try to swindle people. But there's a certain set of twins who played at a certain MAC school and a certain MEAC school, who basically hemorrhaged their whole team to get back like Travis Etienne from Greg while they were giving up Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson. And no one knows why like that worked out so well for our guy G Wizzy. And I'm like, if Greg can't pull off these heists this year, are we still going to see that same sort of cutthroat guile that brought him to glory last season?
Let me jump in for you real quick here, Greg. He's gonna find somebody. That's the thing. There's somebody that's gonna get swindled to a certain level. He's gonna find them at their lowest time too, like at their weakest moments. That's when he strikes. He's a fantasy bloodsucker. He's a fantasy killer. That's what he does.
Yeah, thank you, Carr. Every move is calculated. Like every text I send in a group chat that involves any parts of this league is like, you may notice the way I've interacted with Sean Paul in the last 12 hours. You may notice he has Jahmyr Gibbs. You may notice Jahmyr Gibbs only played 19 snaps week 1. That's probably going to change. You may notice Sean Paul doesn't listen to this program, so he's not going to hear my strategy here. I will get Jahmyr Gibbs from Sean Paul. I will stack Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery in the near future, and it will win me this league. And anybody who's listening to this program that's in other fantasy leagues with me is just laughing at Riley's concept that there's a me that isn't swindling people. Like that's.
I was actually going to say my best bets for who you swindle. One of them listens to the program and one of them doesn't. The one who doesn't is Sean Paul.
Well, I already got 2 starting receivers for Sky Moore, who had 1 yard last night.
I know.
Tristan.
That's my other bet, is the site
Hey,
manager.
Who did that trade?
Tristan,
the site manager who loves Kraft singles and Funyuns. Like
Tristan. That's what Greg does. He's good.
Tristan hasn't learned his lesson, man. I'm like, why did T not learn his lesson from last year? The only way you can beat Greg in a trade is if you have an algorithm and some dog to you, which my team has.
The thing is that you guys are so proud of this damn algorithm. And look, it's great. Like if you're trying to be Ken Palm, but cooler, that you like mission accomplished, you've done it. I bet Ken Palm stinks at fantasy leagues. I bet he's horrible. Like that's not how this works, man. But you are right. Our league is full of total non-threats. Like God bless Greg Peterson, the busiest man in show business, but like he didn't even show up to the draft. So like you guys
starting QBs are like it's a 2 QB league, and Greg Hughes Peterson ended up with Josh Dobbs, and I think he traded for Desmond Ridder for week 1 because he didn't have another quarterback.
Oh Gee hoops. Good Lord, my boy.
Yeah, my G Hoops is struggling.
By default, you are correct that you're a threat. They're just
I would say the threat. I'm
how much of
not
a
crazy
threat?
about Borzello's team this year. I don't think Borzello listens to this either.
Okay, and
Yeah, that's
he definitely does not. But I will say this, Riley. One thing you do have, you can hang your hat on, is the team phrase that you have. That you got some algorithm and some dog. That's a bar. Just letting that be known.
yeah.
Greg.
Okay, should we
I hate fantasy. I hate fantasy, Greg. That's why I don't play any
you gave
fantasy.
you gave me such a nice endorsement there. I thought you loved.
Oh no. If like I'm with you and I'm calling a team, I'm watching from afar, love it. If I'm in a league with you, I'm terrified. I can't sleep at night.
Okay.
Absolutely terrified.
It's a good assessment. You're a smart man. You know me better than most. Okay, let's move to one big thing presented by Bigby. By the way, USA has battled back. It's a 3-point game with 1 minute and 40 seconds left against Germany. So if I'm a little distracted, that's why. Who wants to go first with one big thing today?
I'll kick us off.
Okay.
My one big thing is actually it's a shout out to y'all. It's a shout out to Sleepers Media for one particular element of the show, and that's the intro music. I know Greg has shared the story behind that before, that he bought it off some random dude from Google from like 3 years ago. But let me tell you, I don't know if y'all ever go back and listen to your show, but if you play this podcast in your car, when that beat drop hits, like right as it's hitting in, when it's like, that, like, I find myself involuntarily just like giving one of those in my car. I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting here vibing this hard to some intro music. And I was just thinking, like, y'all remember back in the early 2000s when like subwoofers were a big deal, or even when we were in high school, it was like you had that one kid who had the tricked out like Honda Del Sol with the subwoofers, who was like, yo, come listen to the new Chameleonaire album in my car. That's what I want to hear the intro music played through.
I love that.
Appreciate that. It is a banger. I wish I remembered the name of the guy who made it, because he had all bangers. There were like 50 of them. I think Cart knows this. I've gone to the site plenty of times and just been like, listen to this instrumental banger. It's incredible. Thank you to that shout out, Riley. Cart, why don't you go next?
My one big thing is shout out to all of the fans of the Detroit Lions that made the trip to Arrowhead. Like I had a couple buddies that were there, sent me videos. I mean, there were Lions fans literally everywhere in that stadium, like everywhere. And they were loud and they were having a good time. So shout out to all of them. There was plenty of blue in the stands. It was good to see. And shout out to the Lions for just going 1-0. I think y'all knew what the one big thing was going to be. It's my dogs. It's literally my dogs going 1-0. I needed it more than anything.
Cart, I absolutely love you. I got to be a little honest with you here. I'm a little surprised. I feel like you're at like an 8 out of 10 energy excitement level for the Lions today. Is it just tired? Like, you stayed up a little too late last night, I think.
Job's not finished.
Oh, okay. So this is a calculated move.
Yeah.
Okay. Respect.
Surely is.
Also, Germany has now hit a huge 3, and Dennis Schroeder just hit a step back jumper and is chirping. They're up 6 with 37 seconds left. It appears USA's run could be coming to an end in the FIBA World Cup. I have a special one big thing today. If you two would allow me to, I don't know, make a fool of myself here real quick. Riley, it was your birthday this week, correct?
It was.
I have a gift for you, my friend. I alluded to this in this week's newsletter. I think we've spoken about it on the show. Riley knows this. I have a little bit of a rap past. I have written Riley Davis a birthday rap that I would like to perform a cappella on the show with your blessing.
You have my blessing. Let's hear it.
All right. It's about, I think it's 12 or 16 bars. Anyway, I'm going to, again, a cappella. So preface that for what it is. Here we go. Riley Davis, Carolina's greatest. When he's on the show, I never skip like I'm a Bayless. Joins the call and looks like he's in Mina Kimes' basement. Let's call it what it is. Boys big, finally famous. When my mind is racing, I pretend that I'm related to Riley and I'm vacationing. Find me in island nations. The time it takes him to write the daily's impeccable. He even makes Sean Paul's parts legible. But who you know this half man, half incredible. When it comes to compliments, I think I said them all. He's just a stand-up person. Kind of like if Matt Rife did stand-up sermons. Hand up, don't leave him open. He's Luke May. Get your bands up in the Carolina Blue Jays when he's rolling up Tobacco Road screaming, screw K. I hope you had a happy birthday.
All right. Those are, yeah, we need to get the Rap Genius breakdown of that. I need people annotating that, waiting for official verification for what G Wizzy meant with each bar, because that was impeccable, even more so than my timing with the Field of 68 daily.
I might need that actually thrown onto like a beat and an actual something I can download and play.
Happy birthday, Riley Davis.
Thank you.
Thank you for Riley Friday. Thank you to everybody for listening. Have a great weekend, everybody. Sleepers Bets newsletter, locked and loaded for football this weekend. I hope your team wins like ours so we can all have a victory Monday together. Have a great weekend, everybody.